Cancel.
Call, directory, redial, store, minutes. Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, all of my Israelite brothers and sisters. Just wanted to say hello, and that I titled this Preparation Day. I'm going to tie this in somehow to Biblical History Month, but it's basically preparing for the Sabbath. Today is the preparation day for the weekly seventh-day Sabbath, and I just wanted to share, especially with those that are coming into the Sabbath, and you're finding out that you're the people of the book, and how do you go about this, you know, if it's something new to you. And if it's not anything new to you, hopefully this will be inspirational as well. You know, in everything I do, I always realize that your outlook determines your outcome, how you see things, your perspective in going into it. It always determines your outcome. If you got a negative outlook, you're going to have a negative outcome. And if you have a positive outlook, you more than likely will have a positive outcome. It's almost like looking and going into the Sabbath with the mindset of a half-empty glass or a half-full glass. And let me explain. When I go into the Sabbath and preparing for the Sabbath, I'm preparing for the Sabbath with joy, because I want to get things done. I want to make sure that there's gas in the car. I want to make sure that whatever things that I have to do pertaining to work, it's done. I don't want to receive phone calls from clients. You don't want to receive phone calls from your job employer. You want to make sure everything is done. You want to make sure that when the Sabbath comes in, that you have a mind that's fully concentrated on the Most High, the service, the lessons that you're getting ready to receive and hear. It's like your outlook on the Sabbath is so positive. It's a day of rest. It's a day that your mind is not really dealing with anything that's relevant to outside of the book. I want to get a good lesson. As a musician, I want to hear a good song or two. I want to hear a message of inspiration. Maybe someone may give a testimony of inspiration. That's what I want to hear. And I want to learn something. And I can't wait. I really cannot wait to get around the people of the Most High. I really cannot wait to get to a place that I consider to be a mental refuge, because when I am teaching or listening to somebody else teach, I am just like into it. I got my paper, my pen, I got my Bible open. I'm just sitting there waiting to learn with joy and excitement. And the last thing that I want is for somebody who does not observe the Sabbath or cannot appreciate the Sabbath burning my phone off the hook, because they're working and they need to know where something is, or this happened, that happened. I don't want that. I want my time. I want my mind, the heart of my mind cleared. I don't want anything else bouncing around in my head. I just want to be able to be in an atmosphere of learning, an atmosphere where there can be growth, and I can just take the word of the Most High and just excel into that. So that's why the preparation day is important. And so I look forward to getting things done. I look forward to making sure that my clothes are prepared, My family's clothes are prepared. I look forward into making sure that any work around the house is going to be done. Nobody is coming at a time where it's going to interrupt me being in the congregation with others. So I think that's important. You can also look at a preparation day as if, oh man, here it is, another day. I got to prepare for the Sabbath. I hate this day. It's like I got to try to get so much stuff done. So right away, your outlook will determine your outcome. And when you go into the Sabbath in preparation like that, you're constantly thinking and going into the Sabbath with just stress. You know what I mean? And you're not supposed to go into the Sabbath. You're not even supposed to bear a burden on the Sabbath day. You're supposed to enter into his gates with thanksgiving. You're supposed to enter into his courts with praise. And that's why it's important to look at the preparation day as a day as if you are preparing to go on a cruise, the vacation of your lifetime. You're just excited about packing and getting everything together, you know, and that's how I go into the Sabbath. I think it's important to go into the Sabbath with that type of mindset and just ready to do the will of the Most High. Not in Isaiah the 58th chapter, it talks about not doing our pleasures on his holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, holy of the Lord, and honor him, you know. So this is how we're supposed to enter into the Sabbath. Just don't bear a burden. Just don't worry. Leave things at the gate before you come inside of that presence. Just leave it. You know, leave finances alone. Leave just issues, storms of life. Leave it alone. Your mind needs a rest. Your body needs a rest. Okay? And when you start to have an atmosphere in the heart of your mind where you can actually have a mindset where it's conducive to absorbing the word from whomever is teaching or presenting that day, it just makes things wonderful when you're able to go in and do that. So I encourage you, get your mindset where when you go into the Sabbath, you're going into it from a perspective that you're excited about it, you know? You're excited to be around other people like yourself. And you're excited because it's like, wow, man, this is so great. And so that's how you should go into the Sabbath. There was a man in Numbers the 15th chapter. He was unprepared. And for some reasons, and I'm going to tie this in with Biblical History Month, the preparation day. There was a man in Numbers the 15th chapter, and after the children of Israel repeatedly and consistently were being taught about the Sabbath, how to observe the Sabbath, how to keep the Sabbath, how to go into the Sabbath, how to honor the Sabbath, and to refrain from doing anything, any labor, anything that would just really take away from the time of observing the day. This man, for some reason, he was found gathering sticks on the Sabbath. And when they brought him before Moses, Moses went before the Lord, and the Lord told Moses, take the man outside the gate and stone him to death. Now, the Lord doesn't stone us today or have us stoned today when we break the Sabbath, but you can rest assured that the Sabbath is a sign. It's a part of the seal of the Most High. And if we are not in that framework, when those angels who are holding back the four winds of the earth that will have the wrath of God, if we're not sealed here, we will see death. We will see death. So, nonetheless, this man, he slipped. He was out there picking up sticks. He didn't want to observe the Sabbath from the perspective that the Almighty had put it. And the Almighty then told Moses, tell the children of Israel, you know what I want them to do? I want them to wear fringes. I want them to wear fringes to remind them that this is the Sabbath. I want them to wear fringes to let them know that my commandments, and every last one of them, so that on the outside they can be reminded. If you need to do that today, if you need fringes, wear fringes. If you need to tie ribbons around all of your fingers to remind you, you do that. I am a product of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. I don't wear fringes because his commandments, his laws, statutes, and judgments is in the heart of my mind. And I just want to be so obedient to the Most High and observing his commandments. I don't need to wear fringes. If you do, and those that do, hey, have at it. But this thing is bigger and more important to me. So therefore, it's just in my heart that I may not sin against thee. David said, I'm going to take the commandments and I'm going to bind them about my neck. Man, so whatever you have to do, do that. But make sure